Hi, this is Susana Magenheimer, Random Artist 222. Recently, I received a lot of love regarding my use of gel press tissues and papers on some of the posts over the past few weeks. The bird collage really shows off how the majority of a collage can be done with paper and tissue pulls. So I took a long video I created in 2019 that had a section covering the basics with a twist of gel press techniques to create this mini tutorial video. The video is appropriate right now because it's going to be using pumpkins, perfect for the season of fall. The focus of this video is to show the technique of how to use large open stencils and create pull imagery within those large spaces. As a teaser, the circle behind the bird's head is a pull using a unique item. It's in one of my videos on my YouTube channel about 2 years back using stickers. I do use gel press plates to create with. Let's get started. This is a brayer. They come in lots of sizes, and I'm going to demonstrate gel press techniques. These are monoprints created using gel press plates. They come in many sizes, especially a 3x5 inch size if you've never used one before, so that you can try it out and see if you like it. I love using copy paper, even now, to create these effects. These amazing monoprints using Sean's stencils works beautifully for this technique with the gel plates. As you can see close up, you can see this beautiful duck egg paint that I used, the red browns, the copper, to create an amazing effect using the gel plate. There are two variations. You got that traditional I just showed you and a darker, more moodier piece. You also get the reverse effect using this stencil. And if you can see here, the detail that comes out is just fabulous. The imagery captured, and we're looking at here more of a traditional pumpkin. You can see the wallpaper stencil that I use coming through beautifully to give these pumpkins texture without actually using texture. There's a benefit to using these shapes is that you can cut them out and use them as you need. It is now 2022, and I would not be using a paper towel to wipe my brayer off. I would be using copy paper, tissue paper, any paper, so that I could reuse the leftovers in another project. Gel printing. It's a fun process, and I wanted to share that with you. You start with very little paint, and you want to select a couple of colors to give you some variation in the first pull that you're going to do. You do want to make sure when you're rolling this out that you create a thin coat. Any excess I'm putting off onto that paper towel. I'm now applying the wallpaper stencil, and my goal here is to use some tissue paper and remove as much of the paint off the stencil portion as I can, because that is where I'm going to be adding paint to create the effect. You can see close up here how I've removed the paint. And you can pull back the tissues as you're doing it and make sure you catch as much as possible of the paint. Now I'm going to pull off the stencil, and you can see that there's open areas. The stencil is in there. The detail of the stencil is in there. You sometimes can't see it. And I'm drying it a little bit. I don't want to dry it out a lot. I just want to make sure I'm not making mud. And so now I'm going to add the third layer, and you're working, or third paint, and you're working backwards on this. So if you hold up your gel plate, you can kind of see what it's going to look like. Again, you want a very thin layer of paint, so any excess I'm pulling off onto the paper towel. This paint also reactivates the bottom paint so that you can make an amazing pull. So, and you do not want to dry out the paint completely to the point of, leaving it there for an hour, because it'll be hard to pull off. So now I add the next portion of the stencil, which is the pumpkin variations. When I apply the copy paper now, this pull will give me the separate pumpkin silhouettes that I showed you earlier. Make sure you rub hard to get as much of that paint onto the copy paper. And look how beautiful this pull is. Again, you can see all the detail of the prior stencil in there, creating that amazing looking texture. I love that flower in the wallpaper. Now you end up with the leftover. And again, here you're working backwards and you have paint that is almost dry, if not just starting to dry. So now this is where you would add, in my case, I'm adding buff acrylic paint to pull the remaining paint off the plate. But you could also add any other color because it's not going to interfere with the colors that you see there right now. So you could add purple and make your pumpkins purple, or teal, or whatever you want to do. Just make sure that it's complementary to what you're trying to achieve. And again, you don't want to put a lot of paint on here. You just want to put enough to reactivate the layer that's already started to dry. And again, you want a thin layer. And you make sure not to grind the brayer into the jelly plate. You want to really have a light touch on this. Otherwise, you'll move what you have below. And now I'm going to be doing the pull. And again, rub hard. I start from the edges and work in. And as you pull up, you can see that it's already onto the paper, so you know that it's working. And just pull it off nice and slow. If you see any paint that's still attached to the plate, you can redo it and pull it back up. If there's paint left over on the bottom, not to worry. You can pick that up with more paint in another pull, or you can use a baby wipe and take that off. But look how beautiful this is. And it can be used in a journal or torn up and made into background pieces, whatever you want to do, but it's just yummy stuff to work with. I hope this inspired you. If it did, please remember to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks so much and have a great day.